Good morning, everyone. It is super early in the morning. I've already got a load of laundry going. I've got the cat box clean. I've got the dishes done. I've got the garbage ready to go out. Um, and I was thinking about this video as a week-to-week discussion, but more focused on the groceries. How do you buy it? What do you do with them? What can you stock up on? What can you throw in the freezer? So the first thing I'm going to say is when you go grocery shopping for food, number one, you're going for your 7 days or your days to fill plan. Now, here's what I always recommend is doing your inventory. I've said this over and over again. Do an inventory of what you have and get creative. Use those foods. And then start figuring out what you need to fill the rest of those days. If you don't know the sales, well, then when you get to the store, you go to the meat. You find out what meat sales there are. That's what you do. Also, number two is you want to know what are the stock up sales and what are the things that you're going to stock up on. Now, I kind of have a rule of thumb. On meat, less than $1 is fantastic by the pound. Right now, they have the chicken legs, the split chicken breasts, and the chicken thighs on sale for 88 cents a pound. That's a fantastic price. That is fantastic. The normal sale prices run between $1.29 and $1.49 a pound on chicken. So if you can get it for 88 cents a pound, you are doing fantastic. Okay. Sometimes you got to get over what you're used to. I mean, you just have to get over it. Say you don't like chicken thighs. Well, guess what? Get over it. Buy some chicken thighs, bake them, or throw them in a crock pot, cook them down, pull some meat, and make some dishes with them. For 88 cents a pound, you're going to get meat for a dish, and you're going to get stuff to make a broth. Because broth is expensive. If you buy a can of broth, it's expensive. And not only that, but you can cut down your sodium and your preservatives by making your own broth. Very important, and that's what I'm going to do today. I cooked my chicken quarters yesterday. It's a leg and a thigh, attached. I cooked them in the crock pot overnight. I then took them out of the broth, put them in a container, and now I have my broth in a big bowl. And what I'm going to do is once I peel and take all of the chicken and take it off the bone, I'll put the bones into a pot. I'll pour that broth back in, and I'm going to make a super broth. And it's going to be super concentrated, so that way I don't have to use it all at once. I can pour a little bit of it into something and add a little water to it, and I've got an excellent chicken broth that didn't cost me anything other than the cost of my chicken, and it doesn't have the salt, it doesn't have the preservatives in it that you're finding in other things. You know, you can go buy organic chicken broth for $1.79, $2 a container. I'm going to have like 3 containers for free just from cooking my chicken down. That's a big savings. I use a lot of chicken broth because I do a lot of brothy type things. For example, if I make soup or if I'm cooking another roast down, and then I can continue to make broth, and that broth can just keep growing and growing and be the best broth it can be. Okay. Now, something that I want to talk about really quickly is juice. Now, as you know, if you're a Kroger shopper, the juice this week was phenomenal. Sunny D is not always the best juice to get. The Welch's container juice has a lot of sugar in it, but they were on such a cheap sale, it's a good deal to get it. Now, what I recommend doing with those juices is splitting it half and half with water. That's what I do here at home. We pour half of the contents into a pitcher. We fill it the rest of the way with water. We've gotten used to it that way, and I think it's better because when I drink a glass of juice right out of a carton, it's got so much sugar in it, and it's so thick and sweet, it really just kind of turns me off. So I always split it half and half. This is why I always recommend for people to have 2 pitchers. Now, I know that if you do just 1 pitcher like that, the kids are going to grab the one in the back because they know that's not watered down. Well, have 2 and switch it up on them where there's no choice. You drink what's in the pitchers, and then we go into filling another pitcher. Okay, when juices are not on sale, what I recommend is going into your concentrated juice area in the freezer section of your store. There's orange juices, there's grape juices, there's cranberry juices, there's all kinds of juices frozen. Buy the cheapest one, throw it in a pitcher, blend it with water, and do it. Another thing I recommend, of course, and this is one of my favorite things, is having Tang around the house. If juices are not readily available for a good sale, don't buy it. If you've got to where you have started to watch Tang, Kool-Aid, lemonade, those containers that come on sale for 99 cents, always snatch them up. Keep them in your cabinet. Put them in a pantry. Put them under your bed, wherever. And use those on the weeks when juices are not that great. Tang is great. It has minerals, vitamins, and vitamin C in it. It's everything they need. So just a little hint, when the juices are not as great of sales, just do it that way. Okay, so I've got some notes here. I have my board, but I just don't want to use it today. So what do you buy and your cost? Like I said, with chicken, I won't spend more than $1.49 a pound for it. I just won't. The reason being is because I know that it's going to come on sale for 88 cents a pound, which is what it is right now. $1.29 and $1.49 a pound for the chicken is a decent sale price. But if it comes down to 88 cents a pound, stock up on it. That's your stock up price. $1.29, $1.49 a pound is if it's one of the meat needs that you need. Like this week, had I needed chicken, let me tell you how I would have snatched up everything in that chicken aisle. I would have had thighs to make casseroles with. I would have got the split chicken breast to make meals with. And I would have also got the legs to make hot legs with. But I have enough chicken stocked up right now that I can skip this sale, which is good because I didn't need it. Now at Kroger, my target price for any item is 99 cents to $1. Because if I can spend $1 on items, then it's like going to the Dollar Tree. You have people that only shop the Dollar Tree for certain items. Well, if my target price is $1 for an item, I'm doing pretty good at Kroger. So that's my target price for anything. Anything 50 cents is a wow price. That is a double stock up price. If I've got a coupon that makes something 49 cents or 50 cents, that's a double price. That is a double low, and I will get more than my normal stock up just because I'm getting 2 for $1, 2 for $1, 2 for $1. And that to me is a wow price. So when you do your 7-day need list or your fill up list, anything over that should be your stock up. Don't ever spend more than you need. And here's another thing that my cat was right up in my face. Never buy pre-chopped, washed, or bagged vegetables, except for onions and potatoes, because those are the ones you're going to get the better deal on that are pre-bagged. Other than that, oh my God, do not buy carrots that are sliced, diced, or julienned. Buy a bunch of carrots because they're going to last you longer. Do not buy the zucchinis that are pre-packaged. Buy them single or go to the reduced price. I always go there first. When I go to the vegetable section, the first thing I do is go to the reduced little shelf. What's there that I can work with? Zucchini, squash, cauliflower, whatever's there, I look at it and I take it home. So never buy that. They have like the little containers of, I think it has onions, tomatoes, and peppers or whatever in a little container. It's like $4. Are you kidding me? No, don't do it. Now, always compare your prices too. For example, green bell peppers are 99 cents a piece. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Well, I have some over here on my counter. You can see the wax peppers, but there are bell peppers laying here somewhere. I grew them myself, Now, since I'm not going to use them right away, what I will do is I will chop some and I will julienne some in a long strip. So that way in my freezer, I have bell peppers that are chopped. I can throw it into whatever. And I also have them cut in a strip. I will probably add onion to them. So that way all I have to do is dump them. I've got fajita stuff right there. And I've also got stuff to put in chili or whatever else I'm cooking that I need peppers and onions in. I never ever buy pre-chopped onions or peppers or anything like that. That's crazy. Just my opinion. Okay, buying meat. Buying meat is just, it's going to be your biggest expense. So you don't want to have to buy more than you need, but you want to buy more than you need if it's on sale, and that's the whole gambit. Look at your price amounts. And if you buy a bulk pack or you buy more than you need, repackage it. Repackage it and have an idea of what those meats are going to be used for. Pre-cook it for quick meals. Say you got a bunch of the boneless, skinless chicken breasts and you cook them and you dice them up or you make them into strips. Go ahead and throw them in baggies. You're going to have fajita meat. You're going to have meat to throw into something and you don't have to cook it. I take a day and I do food prep for the week, and a lot of people do. And as a working woman, you know, whose role is to cook here, I do a lot of pre-cooking. I don't do it too much, but I should. If I had little ones and I wanted to spend time with them while my food is preparing, I wouldn't want to stand over a stove cooking the chicken, blah, 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 blah. I would much rather just take the chicken out, throw it in a pan, throw my cut vegetables in there, and help them with their homework or have them help prepare the rest of the meal. So I wouldn't want to have to cook the whole meal right then, right there, because that's a lot of work. So pre-cook some chicken. Take a day. Say you got the chicken breasts, like when they have the Tyson chicken, buy one, get one free. Take a day, cook half of it, chop it up, and know that you have fajitas. You can have for casseroles, you can have it for anything, and pre-cook it. Same way with ground meat. You can go ahead and brown up a big 3-pound thing of ground beef, split it in half. You can already add your taco seasonings to it. Put it in a container or a freezer bag, put it in the freezer, and you know you've got taco meat. Very important. For me, that would be what I do. So when you're buying your 7 days, mix it up a little bit. Even if you do a lot of chicken one week, just change the seasonings, change the recipe. Your pork, your beef, smoked sausage, meatballs, whatever. Get creative. I don't like to call them leftovers anymore. I like to call them creative seconds because I think that's really, really important. Now, something I noticed is a lot of people don't know what actually you can stock up on and freeze. You can stock up on cheese. I would recommend if you buy block cheese and you find it cheaper, grate it up and put it in bags and freeze it. Sour cream, cottage cheese, cream cheese, margarine, butter, all of that stuff freezes really, really good. I mean, awesome. Now, I've had no problems with freezing block meat or block cheese. And what a great way to have Lunchables for your kids. I know everybody wants Lunchables. Well, you know what? These little containers right here, throw some sliced cheese, some pepperoni or salami in there with a couple crackers, and they've got a Lunchable. Too bad. We're not buying the packaging. Just the way it is. So in the beginning of the week, cut up some cheese blocks. You have some crackers. You have some sort of dried pepperoni or salami or ham or whatever your kids like, and you can put it in those containers and they have a Lunchable. That's what they get. So fresh vegetables and fruits. I buy the discount ones. I chop them up. I put them in freezer bags, and they're in my freezer. And I will show you that one day. I have 2 bags right now in this freezer. I have one in the other freezer where I have saved vegetables, zucchinis, squash, the cabbage, slaw, blend stuff. There are peas. There are all kinds. There's spinach. Everything in the world that I have saved, peppers, onions, I throw it all in there. I have a stir-fry mix right then and there, or I have a vegetable base for a soup or a stew. I would never, ever, ever buy frozen vegetables like that. I would never buy stir-fry vegetables or cut up peppers and onions. I think that's crazy. When you can get them fresh and freeze them yourself, and you're going to spend a lot less. So you have 3 bags going on. You just start filling each bag every time you save something. And pretty soon you're going to have 3 whole huge freezer bags full of vegetables that you can throw in a pot with broth, throw a piece of meat in there, and you've got vegetable soup. Or you throw it in a pan after you've done some meat, and you've got a stir fry. There is no way in the world I would buy a stir fry vegetable or a pre-cut pepper and onion. There's no way. That's crazy. Because you're just spending way too much money. You're thinking about this. You get a bag of onions for $1.49 a bag. Okay, so you're buying your green peppers for 99 cents. Okay, you're buying them pre-cut, pre-chopped, and you're spending $2 to $3 a bag for them. Crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. Just saying. Okay. Something else too that you can freeze that you don't think about is lunch meat. When you come across these lunch meats that are on sale, or even at the deli has lunch meat and it's on sale. Depending on how many pounds you use a week, start freezing your lunch meat. I just pulled down a pack of bologna for this week for my lunches. I know, but bologna was 99 cents and I got it. And I'm going to get another pack of it this coming week because I will be doing my grocery shopping next week with Angie. But we're going to use separate carts because the counting thing drove me crazy. I can't help it. It drove me crazy. Make frozen meals. Buying the frozen lunch meals at $1.88 a pop. Okay, that seems really cheap. Oh my God. That was not cheap in my opinion. No. When you make a meal, put it in a freezer meal container. Just do it. Because that's one meal you don't have to buy. You're not buying your lunch. Never, ever, ever fast lunch. No, 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 no. Always take your lunch. But take a lunch that you have made at home. It is going to be so much cheaper. And rice. Make a pot of rice a week. Add it to your kids' foods. Let them get used to the texture of rice because rice can be a great staple. And it's also a great lunch meal. Just saying, rice. Like I said, you can pre-cook your meats. I've already got that down, your Lunchables. Now, items you're going to need if you're going to start cutting costs are freezer bags, all different sizes. Make sure they say freezer bag on it. These work just as well, but they're storage bags, okay? They're not freezer bags, but I go through mine so quickly that it doesn't matter if it says freezer or not. But try to get the freezer bags. Try to get them on sale. And I'm telling you, when the coupons come out for these guys, and I'm getting them for 49 cents a box at Kroger, I'm getting them. Because these guys will go on sale for 99 cents on a mega sale. I don't know if they're on this week or not. I didn't really look at them because I didn't have any coupons. But when I have coupons for the hefty slider bags, I will buy extra inserts just to get these for 49 cents a box. And I will get all the sizes that they have because I use them. I use a lot of freezer bags. Another thing that you want to do is get different sizes of containers. Okay, this one might be for a little bigger meal. It is stained because we use it constantly. This one would be great for soups, stews, or build a meal. Now, if you notice, there was a day when I took a can of beans that I gave a quarter for. I added a handful of spinach, and then I put some cornbread that I had left over, and this was a bean, green, and cornbread meal. These are great for soups, stews, or build-a-meals. You can build a meal that is really, really good. Beans are great. Now, this one I would probably recommend for like Lunchables or whatever. But you can put little things in here to freeze. if you wanted to. Okay, so freezer bags and meal size containers. Um, Aluminum pans. Throw away aluminum pans when you get them on sale. Get them. Get some cling wrap and keep some foil around. Because, for example, say you wanted to make a lasagna or a casserole one night, make a double batch, make a freezer meal, put it in one of those aluminum can or pans, put some cling wrap over it, double or triple foil the top of it, throw it in the freezer, and you've got a frozen meal for some other night. Fantastic. Um, Now, something that some people, and I have one, I found at a yard sale, I use it every now and again, is a food saver system. It's great for saving your meat and things that you're going to keep in there a little bit longer. Now, if you're going to rotate through your food pretty quickly, these are fine. They're fine, because if you've got a family and you guys are eating and cooking out of your freezer, they're fine. But a food saver system does save food, and it is pretty good. Something else I would definitely invest in is a good box grater. A good box grater. Number one, you can shred all your cheese, because most oftentimes your block cheese is cheaper. Not so much at Kroger, but at other places, or if you look at block cheese, it's normally cheaper than shredded cheese. I mean, you're lucky if you can get shredded cheese on sale and it's perfect price. But if you have block cheese, have a good grater. And you can also grate your zucchini, you can grate your carrots, you can grate your cabbage if you find cabbage on sale. There's all kinds of things you can do. I never ever buy carrots that are cut or julienned or diced, because I can buy a big bag of whole carrots that all I have to do is peel them and grate them or chop them up. And I'm not paying someone to clean my carrots and cut them up. That's crazy. I just won't do it. I just won't do it. Okay. Now, something else I noticed yesterday, and I think that we really need to talk about, is saving the end-life foods. And what I mean there is when you know that foods are coming to a date. For example, eggs. I don't have a problem with them, but if you have eggs and you notice the best by date is getting older on them, scramble them up and freeze them. Scramble them up and freeze them. Just scramble them up, make some breakfast meals, or make a big container of scrambled eggs. So all you gotta do is heat them up, and you're going to have a little moisture in them. So what I would recommend doing is when you put them in a container like this, once they cool off a little bit, put a paper towel on the top so that way it'll absorb all of the moisture, and then freeze it. Freeze it with a paper towel in it, that's fine. Because when you thaw it out, then you take your paper towel out, and obviously you heat your eggs up. Eggs, or you can add them to things. For example, if you make a stir fry and you fry an egg and have it, the runny egg, you can put it on top of your plate, crack it open. It is so good. And it adds protein to anything. For example, when we make BLTs, I put an egg on it just to make sure that we are getting another dose of protein, because bacon, there's not a whole lot of protein in bacon. And if we just do 1 pound, my husband likes a lot of bacon on his BLTs. Well, when I put an egg on there, I can ensure him that he's got a full sandwich. So eggs are great. Eggs are great for an add. Now, last night, when I made his pork stir-fry fried rice, I had to make it with a texture, but I didn't like the flavor either. So what I did last night, and he doesn't know I did this, I made a big pan of it. I took peanut butter, and I added 2 huge heaping tablespoons of that into his fried rice, as well as 2 eggs. I added the protein, so that way I knew that if that's what he was going to eat because of his tooth situation, he was getting extra protein, not just the pork that was in there. So little hints, especially stir fries, because, in restaurants they use sesame oil, and a lot of times they do use peanut butter, especially in Thai food. So always add that extra peanut butter to your meals, especially your stir fries, because you're going to get that flavor that you don't have when you're making it, because you're not using sesame oil or you just didn't know that they were putting peanut butter in your food. And you can also put an egg in there because fried rice should have an egg in it. Or like I said, you can put it on top and make it fancy, because that's how fancy people eat nowadays, is they put an egg on top of everything. Even pizza. I mean, that it's kind of freaky to me. But anyway, let's get back to save end-of-life foods. So the scrambled eggs, scramble them up, put them in one of these, let them cool down, put a paper towel on top. The paper towel will absorb the moisture, freeze them. You got eggs. Okay, bread. Bread is something that if you don't eat a lot of it, it's going to go bad. Bread freezes great. You can put loaves of bread in the freezer. You can put your non-bread in the freezer. I mean, all kinds of things. Now, French loaf bread is really, really good. Number one, you can make French toast sticks, even with loaf bread. Cut them up, fry them up with a little bit of whatever you use. Put them in the freezer. You can thaw them out, put them in the microwave, and you get French sticks. French toast sticks. Also, when your bread is starting to get low and, you have kids that just, they want to snack all the time, or they're taking their lunches to school, you can freeze peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You can. And by the time they thaw out, they're in good shape. They're fine. You can also make lunch meat and cheese sandwiches. I wouldn't put my condiments on it, but you can do it. So you can make your sandwiches ahead of time and freeze them. Pop them out of the freezer. In a couple hours, they're ready to rock and roll. There you go. Another thing you can make are stuffing or crouton cubes with your bread. Now, and the reason I say that is because it's just fantastic. If you've never made your own bread cubes for your stuffing, you're missing out, because you can use a variety of different breads, and you've got them on hand. You throw them in the freezer, pop them out, you saute your onions and your celery, you put some broth in there, some butter, put your breadcrumbs in there, stir it up, bake it, and you've got your own stuffing. Buying packaged stuffing is an absolute crazy thing to do when bread is so cheap. I'm just saying. Croutons. All you gotta do is take your bread, put some olive oil on it, some seasonings, whatever seasonings you want, pop them in the oven on a low heat for a little bit longer, and you've got croutons. Now, you can also use those to make breadcrumbs for when you make meatloaf or when you make meatballs. You'll have your own breadcrumbs. Bread is something that you can keep and you can do all kinds of versatile things with. Okay, say you've got, 5 or 6 potatoes, and you're kind of like, I don't really care for them that much. They're kind of getting wrinkly. It's okay. You can cut them into wedges or cut them into strips, whatever size they are. Smaller ones, I would do the wedges. And you just quick boil them just for 3 or 4 minutes. Not even very long. Take them out, let them dry, and freeze them. Then, when you throw them into the oven, put a little bit of oil on top of them if you want to. You don't really have to. Throw some salt and pepper on them, put them in the oven, and you've got French fries or potato wedges. Don't throw away food. When your milk is starting, milk don't go bad in my house very often. Pardon me. But sometimes I get to where, okay, I don't need milk. And there'll be just a little bit left in my gallon. And I'm thinking, I really don't know if I want to drink that or not. I will make either biscuits or I will make pancakes, and I will throw them in the freezer. So I use my iffy milk, what I call it, but I'm a milk snob. When it gets to a certain level, I'm kind of like, how long's it been in there? And I got another gallon. I will just go ahead and make some pancakes, or I will make some biscuits and throw them in the freezer. Don't throw away milk. Mark down indented cans of soup or vegetables. If you're worried about the dented can, number one, the store is not going to sell it if it's a possible risk. Okay? They will mark it down, but they're not going to sell it if it's a possible risk. So what they're going to do, or what you should do, is come home, take those cans, open them up, and put them in a container and freeze them. You will have instant soup. You can have vegetables to put into a soup stock, And why not? You can put them in a freezer bag. You can freeze soup in a freezer bag as long as it's not hot and it's not going to melt everything. So that's a good idea. But like I said, discount vegetables, I go weekly right there to the discount vegetables. I cut them up and I save them. So something else I wanted to talk about was refried beans. Refried beans are not just bland or anything like that. I have 3 options for refried beans. Number 1, make bean cakes. You take some onions and some peppers and some cheese, some seasonings, put an egg in there. If you need to put a little flour in there for binding, you can. You really don't need to. And you fry them. You can fry them up and you can have bean cakes. They are so good. Now see, my granny used to do that with end up soup beans. So when we would have soup beans left over, she would mash those up and make bean cakes. And I loved them. They're fantastic. They kind of look like a salmon patty, but they're not. They're a refried bean cake. And you could serve that with guacamole on the side and some chips, and you've got a pure meal. Because beans are protein. Meat is not the only protein. Okay? So, bean cakes are great made from refried beans. Bean burritos. You could put some rice, tomatoes, onions, peppers, cheese, and seasonings. Roll it up into a burrito wrap, and you can freeze them. You will have your own frozen burritos, and they've cost you just about nothing. Chili sauce. Now, a lot of you don't know, but a lot of your hot dog sauce that you buy in the store, the cheaper brands, and even some of the more expensive brands, are made with beans. Did you know that? Well, this is what you do. You take your refried beans, and if you want a little ground meat in it, you can do that. But you put your seasonings, and you use tomato paste. If you wanted it to taste like Skyline or Gold Star or whatever, you could use those seasoned packets if you wanted to. And you'll have chili sauce for cheese conies. You'll have chili sauce for your spaghetti cheese 5-ways. But you don't have to have the meat in there unless you want to. I do, because I want my chili sauce to have a little meat to it because of the husband. He's not just going to eat a refried bean chili sauce. So, 3 ideas to do with refried beans. Always get the bigger containers so that way you can do these things on the fly. So I think that's about it. And that's a long video. So make sure you do your inventory. Make sure you know how many meals you need, how many meals you have, and then shop the sales. Y'all have a great day. Bye.